If you have struggled with your creativity or finding a creative outlet, then I would highly recommend this book by Rubin. It's called The Creative Act, and it's all about almost shifting your focus on your way of being rather than obsessing, as some of us do, on the creative outlet or the creative outcome. I've been doing a live reading and reflection on this channel, Life Vocabulary, for a while now, and we are on Area of Thought 10, and this one is called Nature as Teacher. I'd like to go through each of these areas, reflect on them, welcome your thoughts, and then move on to another video and another episode. So welcome back. I am Serena Hussain, a creator and creative, and I am here to provide commentary and reflection on creative matters. You might also find commentary on the music industry and art, broadly speaking. Let's get into Area of Thought 10, Nature as Teacher. Of all the great works that we can experience, nature is the most absolute and enduring. We can witness it change through the seasons. We can see it in the mountains, the oceans, the deserts, and the forest. We can watch the changes of the moon each night and the relationship between the moon and the stars. There is never a shortage of awe and inspiration to be found outdoors. If we dedicated our lives solely to noticing changes in natural light and shadow as the hours pass, we would constantly discover something new. We don't have to understand nature to appreciate it. This is true of all things. Simply be aware of moments when your breath gets taken away by something of great beauty. And if you've heard any of the interviews with Rubin since the release of this book, he's spoken about that sense of awe. And when you do see something new, especially in the earlier episode with Area of Thought 9, you are perhaps absorbed in someone else's work of art, some other artworks, and you sort of get that sort of sense of surprise and even inspiration, that sense of awe. It's like a new input, if you like. It may be witnessing a single line formation of birds snaking through a half-lit evening sky, or standing awed at the foot of a giant redwood tree that's thousands of years old. There's so much wisdom in nature that when we notice it, it awakens possibility within us. It is through communing with nature that we move closer to our own nature. If you're picking colours based on a Pantone book, you're limited to a certain number of choices. If you step out in nature, the palette is infinite. Each rock has such a variation of colour within it. We can never find a can of paint to mimic the exact same shade. Again, you're invited, and we are invited into really paying attention to the things that we just take for granted, that are just there in front of us. Nature transcends our tendencies to label and classify, to reduce and limit. The natural world is unfathomably more rich, interwoven and complicated than we are taught, and so much more mysterious and beautiful. Deepening our connection to nature will serve our spirit, and what serves our spirit invariably serves our artistic output. The closer we can get to the natural world, the sooner we start to realize we are not separate, and that when we create, we are not just expressing our unique individuality, but our seamless connection to an infinite oneness. I have absolutely adored reading these segments called areas of thought rather than chapters, in a way that I get to sort of reflect here with you, but I get to not binge and take my time with this. It's almost too easy to just binge this and treat it like any book. It's a real companion, and I recommend it, but I also recommend you reading it with me. And so I welcome your comments, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and I'll see you in the next video.